All right. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Can you hear me this time?
Yeah.
No? Oh, it's on. Okay. Oh, that's okay. So we're just waiting for our screen, and my mom should be making her way over, right, Dad? Okay. She has seen it a couple times, but you just, I guess, can't ever see it enough. True. Yeah, and I'll probably go through it quickly when my sisters come to town next week and, fun stuff like that. So. Yeah, they'll all be back. They'll all be here next Sunday. I don't know, probably. No, Zebedee's out working. Colorado.
I'm more interested in your nieces and nephews coming.
Oh, I don't know if I'm coming. You could do it, Dad. Just stay there. Huh? Wait. Projector on. We're just waiting.
Once on your own, once following else, like how to keep moving.
All right, so let's go ahead and have a word of prayer, and then we'll get started with the presentation. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, just for being with us and for always watching over us. I just thank you for the time that I've had in Taiwan as well, and just the opportunity to be able to share my experiences with everyone here in Harrison. I just ask that you will be with us now. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, so I'm sure everybody knows that I went to Taiwan in October last year. I had some friends that were working over there at a school, and they reached out to me and asked if I was interested in coming back to the teaching world, and asked if I'd want to go and be with them in Taiwan at their school. And I said, sure. So I did. So it's been quite an adventure, an experience. Definitely, ups and downs and challenges and fun times and all of that. But yeah, so I just want to show some pictures to you, quickly take you through maybe not quite a year, but I'm grateful. I've been able to go a lot of places, traveled around Taiwan. Still haven't left the country yet, but I'm hoping to. Yes?
Will you be accepting questions?
Yes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If it's not related to, what we're covering, just jot it down, ask me at the end. But if there's like a picture or something and you're like, what is that? Just ask. Yes. I'll come to that, but actually this is Taipei 101. It's their World Trade Center. So it's the 10th largest tallest building in the world now. At one point, I think it was one of the tallest, but now it's like jumped down to 10th. But it has the fastest elevator in the world. So yeah, so I don't know. I think you can go up to the 89th floor. You can't get up to the top unless you pay like extra. They closed it off, all those things, safety. So I think within like, I've got the video. I'll have to look again, but maybe within like 25 seconds, 30 seconds or something like that, you go from wherever we were, like third, fourth floor to the 89th within just a, yeah, but you can stand there. It's not a great experience. You can't watch the outside. You just kind of like, you're crammed in this little elevator with like everybody they could fit in. And like, okay, off we go. Yeah. Anyway, I'll show you that too. Okay, so just some facts when we get started, just facts about Taiwan. Not to be confused with Thailand. A lot of people confuse it with Thailand, but Taiwan is an island. Officially, it's known as the Republic of China, but everybody calls it Taiwan, or you'll see like ROC, and that would be Republic of China. Population as of June 2022 was about 23.2 million people. 95% of the people are made up of people from China, so Chinese descendants, and then you have indigenous people, and then new immigrants, mostly from East Asia and other places like that. We have a large Filipino population in Taiwan. They come there, they can make more money if they're working there in the factories, and they send stuff back home to the Philippines. So the church I go to, we have quite a few Filipinos. And then there's another church, international church in another city. I haven't made it there yet, but I think they're more Filipino than even we are. So I'm hoping maybe I'll get there, but yeah. And government is multi-party democracy. They have a president there, and capital city is Taipei City, where I'm living. Their currency is the new Taiwan dollar, or NT. Languages mainly are spoken Mandarin and then Taiwanese there. And then there's a lot of others, just depends on where people are from. But those are the main ones. And then a good majority of people know some English, but definitely when you get out of the main city, you start losing that English. So Google Translate becomes your friend if you really need information. And then religions, I would say your main two for sure would be Buddhism and Taoism. And then, you have all of the other cultural things and other religious practices that they have. And then Christianity is there as well. A lot of Christian churches around. There's a Catholic church I'll show you a picture of that's just down from me also. All right, so I took this picture halfway across the ocean, as the plane does depict, from when I was headed there. So I flew from San Francisco to Taipei directly, and so this was about halfway through. So it took me about, I think, 11 and a half hours maybe from San Francisco to Taipei. Not a bad flight. It was kind of odd, though, and unusual, because normally when I'm flying internationally, I go the other direction, and I cross the Atlantic. And so as you're going that direction, the sun sets and all of that. Going west, the sun never set. So I'd lift up the window and I'd be like, nope, sun's still shining. Super weird experience, but also very cool. So these are just a couple pictures. I have loads of wing pictures. I always try to have a window. But this is just coming into the island there and then flying into the city. So we land there. Yeah, so this is my apartment. This is where I live. This would be on the left side is the door, my entrance there. So it's locked. So we go, and I do have an elevator. My building is only 6 floors, and where the arrow is, I live on the 5th floor. So there's 2 apartments per floor in my building. So it's just a small building connected, we're not really not connected, but there's, I think, at least 2 other buildings next to mine as well. But it's nice, it's decent. It's a little alleyway road type. If I head past it, I can go underneath the main road that's there in a little tunnel and get to the market where I buy my produce, but I didn't take a picture of that, so sorry. This is the inside of my apartment, so you can see that it's very small. On the left-hand side, you can kind of see my front door, and then my picture there, that's my kitchen. So those who live in tiny houses, that's my kitchen. So yeah, I have a hot plate, a toaster, and a toaster oven. That's it. And oh, yeah, I did buy my baking soda. Yeah. And then my washing machine is also in my kitchen. This is also my hallway. But this is my front entrance. This is my living area. It was furnished, so I do have my couches there. And then that doorway is a bathroom for like guests, and my refrigerator and cupboards and stuff, and a window out. I can hang my clothes on that. And oh yeah, I have a black cat collection going on. My favorite things. Okay, this is my bedroom. So if you walk through my hallway / kitchen, then you'll come into my room. And so I have my bed there, and then I have like a little desk and my closet area. And then another window out. And then this is my bathroom. So my place actually has 2 bathrooms. Most don't. But this is mine that I use because it has the hot water. The other one has a shower, but no hot water. So this is also, if you've ever been out of the country, I don't know if any places have it here, but it's a wet bathroom. So that means that basically, your shower your whole bathroom is then wet. So lots of fun when you like, oh, I need that. And you tiptoe back in and yeah. Okay, this was my Christmas celebration around the fireplace heater, and then some plushies that I got. They're like my friends. This is a view outside of my bedroom window. So this is the MRT. So it goes by about every 5 minutes or so either direction. And so this is one main mode of public transportation. So it did get a little bit getting used to. It's not super loud. It's about 3rd floor. So it's like about 3 stories high. So I'm above it, but still loud. Midnight. 6. Yeah. So 12 to 6. Yeah. I really want to say when I first got there, it started at 5. But then everywhere I was reading, it's like, no, it starts at 6. And I was like, I know it used to. But I think the early trains kind of like run by about 5:30 maybe to get ready and get stationed to where they need to be. I don't know. This is out my other window. So yeah, it's just the views around. And then just like 3-4 minutes walk away from where my apartment is, I walk under the MRT. I get to a big just some stairs, and I can walk over those and then down the other side, and I'm at the park, which is by like the river. And so it was really, this is the first day I was out of quarantine. So when I first got there, I had to be quarantined in my apartment for 3 days without leaving. So my friends were so gracious they filled my apartment with some food and stuff, but then if they went somewhere, they always dropped off something, or if I needed any supplies, they dropped off those. So I was grateful for that. So 3 days, yeah. And then after that, I was able to go out, and yeah, but it's all COVID related. But that wasn't bad. I mean, I was grateful it wasn't a week in your apartment. Like I cleaned and I organized, and you're like, now what? These are just more pictures of the park and the river that's there. And so yeah, one direction, if you head the one direction, you go to a bigger park area. And then the other way, you go to where the rivers meet and stuff. So these are just some flowers, lots of strange looking birds there. And yeah, but it's been fun. These are just some buildings on the other side of the river. I think this is a school. I'm not really positive on what they are. But yeah, I think every time I go walking on the river, I always take pictures. It's just beautiful. So yeah, if I go further away, then I can see where there's like 2 rivers that meet. And yeah, so on the right here, you'll see the stairs here. And so I'll walk up these stairs, and then up here is another place that you can walk. You can walk on the upper level, and then you just kind of, if you don't, you just walk across that, and then down the other side, same kind of stairs. But if I go past, this is the MRT. If I go past this way, then there's a main road. On the other side of that road is a ramp. And so if you want to, take your strollers or your bicycles, then you would just have to find one of the ramps. A lot of people bike on the path and all of that, run, all of those things. So Walking, this is one day I was kind of down. And then it was my birthday also right away. And so you're kind of in a strange country. You don't really know anybody and you have to celebrate your birthday by yourself and all of that. And I'm not one to like go to people and be like, hey, it's my birthday. We should do something. So, but my friend figured it out and she was like, let's go out to eat. I said, okay. But I went for a walk that day and I was kind of just down and stuff. But on my way back, I saw this cat. And I just was like, God sent me this stray cat to brighten up my day. And I talked to him, and I couldn't touch him, of course, but I said, you're just what I needed to put a smile on my face. Lots of cats. So my friends took me out for my birthday. And so this is my friend Debbie. And we worked together in Kenya when I was there working. And her husband, when they left Kenya, they went straight to Taiwan. And so every year she's been there, she's been trying to get me to come work. And so finally, they've been there. I think they're going on 5 years they've been there. And then this is Sharon, and she's just another teacher and was a huge help for when I first got there. I was taking over one of her classes. And so she was able to sit down and she gave me the materials and she was like, this is what I do, and you just do the same thing. And I said, okay. And then she was going to take it over again. I just had it for 1 quarter, but yeah, so it was, but I'm so grateful for her too, because she kind of like filled me in on how the school worked, and any questions I had, she was willing to answer them. So yeah, so it's just a beautiful place. In the middle of a city, you still have lots of grass and trees, and if you ever need to get away, there's still tons of people and you can still hear all the traffic and the trains and whatever, but beautiful sunsets, and I'm normally not out there for the sunrise, but sunsets, very beautiful. But I'll walk this way when I go to the store and stuff like that. And so normally by the time I get out of school and do what I need to do, and if I go walking, I try to catch the sunset because they're always so pretty. All right, so this is my school. So I work at Primacy Collegiate Academy. This is our front entrance. We have a gate and then sliding doors to get into, but that's our school, then that's our front entrance. And this was at graduation because I realized I had no pictures of my school. And so they had the big carpet, and that leads, what the P is, that's our elevator. So my school is 7 floors, so it's 7 stories high with a basement. And the kids can only use the elevator from 1st to 7th. We eat on the 7th floor. So to get to classes and stuff, they take the stairs. I normally take the stairs, but it just depends. The picture on the left, that's my first day of class. And I guess I look okay. But that's the mirror in the elevator. And then I was asked also, that first week was it was their spiritual emphasis week, and they had asked me to be one of the speakers. And so that was the day that I spoke as one of the speakers for our week of prayer. After I got there, I said, why did I say yes? But it went well. This is the basement. So we have a gym in the basement, a big workout room area. The handbell choir also practices in the basement. Then they have like storage. That's pretty much all that's in the basement. This is our 7th floor. So 7th floor is where everybody eats. Our cafeteria, well, it's not really a cafeteria. The kids bring their lunches every day, or they just order. So Uber Eats, Food Panda, those are our friends, I guess. And the students as well, they always are constantly ordering. So that's why they can ride the elevator, because they leave their classes, go to 1st floor, collect their food. And then instead of having to walk up all the stairs, they can just ride the elevator. So sometimes I'm normally on 3rd. I'll hit the elevator to like go warm up my food on 7th, and it opens and I'm like, I'll catch the next one, because like you can't get in there. It's packed full of kids. But we also have an outside area on 7th floor too. So it is nice to go out there on a sunny day when it's not too hot yet, and just go out and you can bask in the sunshine. And we have a lot of overcast days. This is our 6th floor. This is where we have our assemblies, and this is actually where the church I attend meets. So we meet at our school on the 6th floor. So I'm there, 6 days a week. But it's nice. So these are just some of the activities that we do. This was our Care for Others Day. Our school is built around, 4 pillars. Our first one is, I don't know, man. Our second one, live healthfully. Develop wisdom, live healthfully, care for others, and know God. And so one day a quarter, we do, it's a required school day, but we do an activity that reinforces that idea, right? So this was for Care for Others Day. And what we did is we made some cards and we built some flower arrangements and we took them to area businesses and restaurants and just let them know we appreciate what they do and how they help us. So this is one of the houses, the groups of kids with our stuff. And then we went to the bank. So the bank is on the left here. Shinkong Bank is where we all bank, the school does. And then that was a pasta place on the right. So, yeah. But it's just kind of to get the kids out of, we need to think about others and we need to do other things. These are just some pictures of my classroom and my classes. This is my economics class when I first got there, my seniors. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. I don't know. I think they learned something, but if not, we played some games, had some fun. This is my desk. These, if you can see them, they're cats. And it's gray, black, and orange because the 3 cats we have here at home are gray, black, and orange. So I found those and I said, oh, I must have those. But this is my desk. So I've got my pictures up and my encouragement and other little things that I have. This was for our Live Healthfully Day. We don't have our own sports center for the school, but there's one nearby. And so we go there for intramurals, sports once a week. And then for our Live Healthfully Day, we went there as well. Just for activities to encourage the kids, work together, team building and exercise is important and things like that. But it's a very nice sports complex. I think it's like 6 floors maybe. So we do basketball, badminton, pickleball, if you're familiar with pickleball. So our school is also divided up into houses instead of classes. So most schools are divided into classes like seniors, freshmen, sophomores, juniors. Ours are divided into 6 houses. And so we have black house, white house, yellow house, green house. I'm a co-sponsor for black house. So these are our kids. And this was for Thanksgiving. So we just had to make a Thanksgiving poster and yeah. And then for Thanksgiving, we do get a couple days off for Thanksgiving, but we have a Thanksgiving party, and tradition is breaking piñatas. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It kind of got scary, this one girl. Anyway, we blindfolded her, and she was determined, and the poor guys that were holding the piñatas, I was like, oh, someone stop her. She was headed after them with the stick, and we were like, somebody's going to get hurt. Anyway, then we just set up tables and we eat there and all of that. Yeah, so basically 6th floor is the place. Yeah. We also had the opportunity to go and perform at the European Christmas market that was near Taipei 101. And so I was one of the sponsors chosen, but also I was leading out in the bell choir. My friend Debbie's the leader, but she got COVID. And so she said, Beth, you've got to fill in for me. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, but we did well. They did well. The kids did. But it was kind of a cool experience to be able to go and, get our name out there and let people know what we do and where we are. And then, yeah, this is just my house for Christmas. We had to decorate our floor. And yeah. So this was where each house has a floor that we go to at the last 15 minutes of the class of the day, and we do service learning. So we clean the glass and we sweep the floor and all of that. So our floor is 5th floor, but we had to decorate it for Christmas too. So each house has an animal, and ours is a bear, and so that's the bear. But overall, Primacy's mascot we're the sharks, so that's our shark. But that was for our Christmas party. Yeah, and then we had a spirit week, and so everybody dresses up in different things for each day, and so we had a traditional cultural day. And so you'll see here in our house, this girl she's Korean, so she's dressed, and then they're Taiwanese. This girl actually is half Taiwanese, half South African. Her mom is South African, her dad is Taiwanese, but they both speak. Her and her brother both speak Chinese and English fluently. And then these 3 they're Japanese. I think he's half Taiwanese, half Filipino, and then they're all Taiwanese as well. This is my co-sponsor, Jean. Yeah. So And then we had like a character day. I went dressed as Mary Poppins. Anyway, it's hard to come up with things. But yeah, these are just more pictures of my classroom that I teach in normally, and then just more pictures of our activities. Yeah. And then this was our banquet that we had. And then we were invited, so TAC is Taiwan Adventist College. It's in central Taiwan. They also have two elementary, they have two academies, one that's in Chinese, one that's in English. And so they invited our school to come down just on a Sunday for a friendly soccer match and basketball games. So we did that. We just took the bus down. I think it was like maybe close to 3-hour trip on the bus. And we went down there, spent the day with them, and then headed back up. So I was one of the sponsors that went down with them. And we won the soccer match and lost badly with the basketball. But I am right here. I ended up having to play. And it's been a long time since I played basketball. I'm like running across it. I'm like, oh. I did make a basket, though. That was exciting. This was our Care for Others Day. I was in charge, and I wanted to do something not for like a food bank, but their Abigail Ministries is a ministry that one of the ladies of our church is in charge of, and she said that they're constantly sending things to different places. They'll send to the Philippines, they'll send to southern Taiwan, they deliver things, or any of the islands, New Zealand, whatever. And she said, we can always use these care packages. And I said, okay. So they consist of a bag of rice, soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, and a blanket, or like a towel. And so I really encouraged our students to bring these items in. I thought we would gather more, but we did still get quite a lot. And so I was grateful for that. But this is rice here in the package. It's just like vacuum sealed, and it's short grain. So if you know the difference between long grain and short grain, there's definitely a difference. Oh dear. Yeah, this was our essay day before school let out. We went up to Hepping Island, and about, I don't know, hour and a half away from us on the buses. And we were going to have a big fun day, water activities and whatever. It was miserable. It was cold, wet, rainy. And these kids were all jumping in. And I'm like, you guys are going to freeze. And they're like, are you going to get in? I said, no, I'm not. But then we had a scavenger hunt. The rest of the day turned out to be well. The sun kind of came out, and we were able to do our scavenger hunt fine. And some of the kids got back in the water, whatever. But yeah, this is just the place that we were. And then throughout the year, the houses compete for the top title, I guess, at the end. And so this year, my house won. So we were all pretty excited about that as well. Yeah. Just you won. I don't know. It's kind of like at the other school that I taught, we always had activities, and it was always the classes against, like, who won your event, like junk night or whatever. This is just all of the things that we do throughout the year. We add up all the points. And so at the very end, who has the most points? It's kind of to encourage them to participate in all the activities. So if there's ever house points involved, they'll be more willing to participate, opposed to if you say, this is just for the fun of it, they'll be like, yeah, why are we doing it? So it's kind of just to motivate them. But it's like a kind of like a milk jug type, and then they'll just put a plaque on the side that says who won. I don't know, somebody started it many years ago, and they just kept up with it. Yeah. I guess bragging rights, I don't know. And then this is just graduation at the end of the year. So yeah, so that's my school. We do all classes, and then we also have some like English language classes. So they have to take a test, and depending on your English level of what you do, you either go into our learning English still because you need to improve, or you can go into our normal high school classes. And yeah, so they take a test, I think once a semester maybe, just to keep checking to see where they are and if they can graduate on up. All right, so this is my area. So Taipei City is divided into districts. So my area is Shilling, and so is my school. I'm literally like 2 minutes, if I'm walking, like 2 minutes away from my school. So I cross one road and I'm there. It's quite convenient, and I really appreciated being that close. by. But this is walking to like some of the stores. I can either go along the road, or there's like a upper walkway that you can go up some stairs and go to. This is the Catholic church I was saying is nearby. It looks very nice. And then there's another church like down the road from me. Yeah, so these are just kind of more pictures of just shops, and this is headed my direction and toward our school, and then this is headed like a different way. And yeah, but I'm for the most part familiar with my area. This is an alleyway headed to my school, and yeah, you just never know what you might stumble upon. Obviously, if they don't have anything written in English, I don't really know what it is. But night markets are a very popular thing there. So this is the shilling night market. So these two characters, if you see them, represent shilling. And so on the train, when I'm on there, you know, I can recognize where I'm at and stuff like that. So it's you gradually start learning things and recognizing them. You might not be able to read it fully, but at least you'll know about what it is. Lots of temples, but there is a temple in the middle of the night market, or maybe the night market's around the temple. I don't know. Yeah, this is just this street, and there's a pet store nearby, and I like to go by every now and then because they sell cats, but they're very expensive cats. Anyway, these are some of the shops in the night market. So like games, souvenirs, things. This store here is all dog outfits, bandanas and glasses and outfits, and they dress up their dogs and they carry them around in strollers. And like normally if you see a stroller, it's probably not a baby inside, it's a dog or two. Yeah. These are just some of the food stops in the night market. People normally go to the night market because of the food. This one on the left is grilled squid. So if you, yeah. And then here on the right, they're like kind of like candy coated fruit. And I've heard also that you think that it'd be like a strawberry or a cherry or something, and it's a cherry tomato. I haven't tried them. Then these are just some other places. This place right here is a mushroom. They sell mushrooms, and it's always busy, and there's always a long line. I've not stood in line to try it because, yeah, I really normally I'll steer clear of places that don't have English menus because I don't know what I'm getting. But the night market's within walking distance for me. I mean, it probably takes me at least 20 minutes to get there, but I do enjoy every now and then just going through and walking. Like this is where I bought my bag. This guy, I was there in like 2 days. I was there like 2 days, yeah. And he like saw me coming again, and I was like, I know, I'm back again. He just laughed. But I like their things. But anyway, it's just fun to kind of look around and see what's there. This was outside my window. I heard one evening a lot of like firecrackers and noise and stuff. And I was like, I don't know what that is. So I went to investigate. And so I headed down by the river, and I saw these guys, and really I didn't see them right away, but I saw people kept looking down this alleyway, and I'm like, something's gonna be coming. So I was like, let me just wait this out and see what's gonna happen. And sure enough, so these guys come out carrying this like chair-like thing, and it kind of looked like a chicken, but it wasn't. So they come out, and they're like over this box of firecrackers, and they kind of like dance this thing around these fireworks crackers, and they're all like popping and everything. And later, I just kind of watched them go, and the drum is beating and the bell is clanging, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what this is. Nobody to ask, whatever. And then this other picture was outside of my window. So I just went back home, and then outside my window, I saw that they were headed down the street. And this is an apartment here. And they carried this thing into the apartment and then came back out. And I said, what is happening? So later I asked one of my friends who had lived there, and they said, oh, sometimes they take their gods visiting the area. So sometimes they just come out and they need to take them on a trip. And so they just go and they visit different places and different people's homes and things like that. And I said, oh, wow, that's really interesting. And I had no idea. I said, okay, that's what that was. This is a store that I normally shop at. It's about 15 minutes walk away from me, unless I take the bicycle. And yeah, it's kind of like a Walmart, your supermarket. You can find whatever you need there. And then this place is like a Subway, but definitely better than Subway. But normally, because I'm walking, I'll go right after school. I grab my backpack and I head out to the store, and then I normally stop there, grab my supper, then I go home, and then I eat. And yeah, so it's kind of like my treat for having to go to the store. This is a temple on the other side of the river. I have not gone up to see it yet, but it looks pretty cool. It's a pretty cool area. There's a lot of like trails around this. And then just another view of the city, my area that I'm in. This is one stop down from me, Jiantan Station. This is Taipei Performing Arts Center. I've never been in it, but it is a very interesting building. And then it really, they surprised me one day. I went by, and it was decorated like a basketball. And I was like, oh, they must have painted it. And then the next time I came by, it was not. And I said, oh, I guess it's not. I know it was like a basketball, though. I was not seeing things. Anyway, this was the last Sunday I was in town. Another group, there's a Glory Church nearby, and one of my fellow staff, they go and they do like an English Bible study. And so he invited me. He said one of their English groups or whatever was going for a hike, and so he invited me to go. The thing about hikes there in Taiwan really is if you go for a hike, you're walking upstairs. Like, it's only stairs. And I'm like, oh, how many stairs can we? Anyway, it's only stairs. But it was a pretty cool view at the top. Yeah. And then this is just in the area as well. So even though we're in the city, the mountains are around us. You can see the hillside and the greenery and stuff. So yeah. So this is just in and around Taipei City, some of the places that I've gone. This is Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. He was a Chinese president of China at one time, fought with Mao, who was communist in China at the time, and so he fled. Chiang Kai-shek fled to Taipei or to Taiwan with a whole lot of Chinese national treasures and things like that. So and then he just kind of stayed in Taiwan and led from there, in a sense. I think his main goal was to try to bring as many of the world leaders together on their side to one day go and take back China. Never happened. But yeah, so he has guards that are stationed at the memorial here, and they change the guard every hour, and it's a whole big thing. Pretty cool to watch, though. So yeah, so this is the memorial. So he's inside there, and then underneath is a museum, and then in that whole courtyard area, they also have a concert hall and then an art center as well. So it's very cool. And then they have like their gate into that area. So it's a pretty cool place to go. This is Taipei 101, and there's my blank space that I didn't fill. I told my parents yesterday, oh, I'm going to fill that space, and I didn't. But this is Taipei 101. It's a pretty cool building. You can go up inside of it. I took my nephew. Zebedee went out. He came to visit me in Christmas, so I waited to go up with him. So this is the elevator, and you can kind of see this. And if you're interested to watch the video, come and see me after. I'll play the video for you. Because I did take the whole video of us going up. But this is the view from the top. So you can walk around the whole thing, and there's like a restaurant inside and whatever, but you can see each one. And then they normally have like, if you go through Sears Tower or Empire State Building, they normally say like, these are your landmarks. Same thing there. And so you can kind of point them out in the distance, but it's pretty cool. Taiwan is known for earthquakes, of course, and so 101 is because it's so tall, they have a damper ball, and this is what this is. And basically, if the building sways, it kind of counters that. And so they have a video playing of one of the worst earthquakes that they had, and how it kept it up, basically. Yeah, so pretty cool. So New Year's, so Zebedee was there with me over New Year's, and I heard they always shoot off fireworks, Taipei 101. And I was asking around, like, where's the best place to watch it? And they said, really, you're there. Like, you're at the bottom of it. And I was like, okay. But they were like, but let me warn you, you're going to be there with a million other people, And it was so true. And the weather was miserable. It was damp and misty. And poor Zebedee, he doesn't stay up late like that. And he's like laying on me. And I'm like, okay, we went way too soon. But anyway, I wanted to get a good spot. Anyway, so it was a pretty cool show. Like, it was really cool. Like, they had the lights on the front. And so as you see the lights like shooting up, then all of a sudden the fireworks come out the sides and stuff. Huge show, super cool. And lots of cool like designs and things on the place. The problem was that as soon as 1 o'clock came around, I was like, Zebedee, we must go, because we had to get to the train. And I knew that everybody else was getting to the train. So this was the stop that we needed to get to. And literally it was just like we were here and we had to go down just a little bit and then down that road, and it was right there. And I was like, let's move. And we were moving pretty well, and then all of a sudden we hit people, and that was it. So it took us probably about an hour to get inside, and then we got in here. So this is where we were headed, Dam Shui, and this was the train right here. And we're on the stairs where I took this picture. So all these people were also getting on the train. So the next empty train came, they all got on, then we were like next. And so I told him, he was so tired. I was like, that train comes, the doors open. I said, you get in there and get a seat. And so he did. I mean, he ran in there. So I stood over him, and he was just like sleeping. And then, so we got home probably around 3:30. So ended at 1, got home at 3:30, and it should have taken us maybe half an hour to get home. Yeah. And I said, well, I checked this one off the list. Don't have to do that again. So then 3:30, he went to bed, and I kind of did too. And then at 5:30, I woke him up, and I said, Zebedee, we've got to go. We have a 5K to go run. We got to welcome the new year in, right? So we did. So we got back on the train and went somewhere else. And he was kind of just a zombie, really. I was like, okay, so he'd sit on the train and he'd be sleeping. I was like, Zebedee, we got to switch trains here. Okay. And he'd just follow me and then sit down again. I'm like, we're here. Okay. But he still ran faster than I did. And he was wearing a hoodie and jeans. I was like, what are you doing? But it was fun. I've run 3 races now in Taiwan, and it's a really cool experience. A lot different from the States in a sense. But yeah, that was a normal 5K. Anyway, this is a temple, a pretty popular temple that was nearby our stop. And so, yeah. This is National Taiwan University Library here. Just this is Taipei Public Library. So many of you know I worked at the library here in town. And so while I've been there, I've been making it a point to go and check out other libraries just to see what they were like there. But it's a pretty cool place. Most of the ones I've been in have some kind of a small foreign language section. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. I think that library was like 7 floors, maybe 2 basement levels. Probably parking is one of them, and then the kids department's in the basement too. This is like a vending machine for books. Kind of cool. I've seen it in different places. This is gondolas, if you can kind of see them. And so you can ride these gondolas all the way up into a town called Maokong. And basically it's kind of in the shape of cats. And there's lots of cats there. Well, not too many cats. I didn't see any cats, but they have like cat statues and things like that. But it's known for its tea. And so you can get tea. You can buy tea there. But yeah, so then what you can do is, so you can ride the gondola all the way up to that town, and then you can get back on and head down, and then you can stop at a temple, and then you can stop at the zoo. So if you see this picture here, this is Maokong, and it's basically the area, and so you can kind of envision a cat, right? Like the tail is here, and the head is here, and anyway, maybe. All right, yeah, so that's just that, and then that's just the gondola stop. This was at the temple, so we stopped at the temple and went around. This is a pretty cool thing. He likes the dragon, like has the water flowing out of it and stuff. And so we went investigating, looking for the temple. Come to find out, there's like 4 temples in that area, and so we went to all of them. The only problem is like they kept going down, right? So every time you went down the stairs, then you look around and you're like, well, you got to go back up these. And Zebedee was like, come on, Aunt Beth, run up the stairs. It's so much better. And I'm like, Zebedee, I'm coming. And he's just like, hurry. But yeah, then we stopped at the zoo, and this giraffe vehicle picked us up. But it was pretty cool. They have a really nice zoo. Because we're so close, I think, to Australia and New Zealand, we get a lot of their exotic things that you wouldn't find here in the States. So like he loved the snake reptile like house, because there's so many more snakes that they have that we don't have here, and like poisonous reptiles and things. And I'm like, oh. But we went into the pangolin dome, and they don't have pangolins, but they have this dome, and it's like open, and a lot of the animals are just free to roam about. Like the sloth is here. He just kind of like was hanging on this walkway, like nothing below him or whatever, and you could just like get that close and stuff. And yeah, super cool. But yeah, that was the zoo. Some of the cats were not there, and I was sad, so I have to go back one day. But anyway, I also took him to Elephant Mountain. This is Elephant Mountain, and it was the first time. Yeah, everybody asked me if I had gone, and I said no, not yet. So I took Zebedee there, and literally it's stairs the whole way, and that was rough. But beautiful view. A lot of people walk up there towards sunset because it gives you a beautiful view of the city and 101. So you can catch the sunset, and then you can catch the lights of the city. So definitely worth it. And then after that, it was around Christmas. And so in New Taipei City, which is surrounding Taipei, you can go, and they had like this big Christmas land, and they decorate a lot of things with lights and these walkways and stuff. And I was like, oh, we'll just go through the walkway. Well, you're there with like a million other people. And so you kind of wait in line for your turn to walk through the walkway. Zebedee was a good sport, though. But yeah, then I took him up to Yulio. It's a geo park north of Taipei City. And basically, it's just these structures, these rocks and stuff. It's known for this one in particular. This is called the Queen's Head. So if you can use your imagination, you can kind of see a queen, right? And so, yeah, so everybody, you wait in line here as well so that you can go and you can take your picture with the Queen's Head. Which I've heard her neck is getting smaller, so I don't know how much longer she has, but go while you can. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's right there on the ocean then, of course, northern Taiwan. So then we came back in. This is another leader of Taiwan, or important person. This is Sun Yat-sen. And yeah, so he has a memorial. He's got guards. They changed the guards. But I thought this is a pretty cool picture of yeah. And then Yamingshan is a mountain outside of outside of Taipei. So our elementary school, the Adventist elementary school, is up the mountain. My friends live up the mountain, and you can get up the mountain in maybe like 30 minutes. Depends on where you want to go. It's harder public transport. You can take the bus up there, but you just have to make sure you get on the right bus, or they won't go as high as you want. So it's also kind of a volcano, and so I really wanted to take Zebedee to the volcano where like the sulfur comes out. And we got on a bus, and it did not take us where I wanted it to go. But we went to the it's a national park. We went to the visitor center, then we hit this trail to go climbing this mountain, and it's all stairs again. I was so sore the next few days, but the view from the top was magnificent. Anyway, it was so overcast and foggy when the time we got up there that we just couldn't really see anything. So it was fun. Anyway, on the way back down, we saw monkeys, so that was kind of cool. This is the National Palace Museum. So all of those artifacts and things that Chiang Kai-shek brought back with him from China are now in the National Palace Museum. So thousands and thousands of things that are precious treasures of China are now displayed here in this museum. So I have lots of pictures, but I only displayed 2 there. But this is finally that weekend, the Saturday before Zebedee left, my friend did drive us up to this area where I wanted to take him. And so I was able to take him there anyway. But yeah, super cool, like waterfalls and fun areas to go. Always places for pictures and cute little things. But this is Yamingshan. This is the mountain. And this is a different day. I went searching for cherry blossoms on my own. That was fun. This is the national, this is a Lantern Festival. So in every year they have Taiwan Lantern Festival in a different city. And so this was the first time in like over 20 years that it was in Taipei. So they went above and beyond. You could travel pretty much most of Taipei. We had a map, and you could hit all of these sections. And they were all like a different theme, right? So like one was like Aboriginal, and another one was just lanterns, and another one was something else. And so it was pretty cool. And then this bunny was outside of a memorial, Sun Yat-sen's memorial. So you can see 101 here. And so I think every half an hour, he would turn on, and there'd be like a light show and music, and he would like circle around and stuff. It was pretty cool. But yeah, they definitely went all out for this lantern festival. So these are just lanterns. And this is like my spring break, just a different town, different part of town. I went to the National Postal Museum. That's pretty cool. I like mail. And the history of stamps and stuff. And yeah, pretty cool. It's a nerdy thing to do. What can I say? Dam Shui is, so I live off of the Red Line for the MRT. Dam Shui is at the very end of the Red Line, but it's a port city. And so it's a very beautiful place. They have mangroves and stuff like that. And I hadn't made it out there. So finally, spring break, I went out with a friend and we went and explored a little bit, but very beautiful area. You can take a ferry across to Bali, which is still Taiwan, not Indonesia, but yeah. So that was pretty cool. And just to be able to get out and to see more things. This is National Taiwan Library. So another library that I was looking at. Yeah. So I really put this in because I was doing a library program. Anyway, this is the presidential office building. I've not been inside, but it was our starting point for one of my runs. I did a National Geographic run, a 9K. So if you've ever, they have some weird distances. I've run a 6K now and a 9K and a 5K. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So transportation, this is our garbage truck. So my garbage, I have to take it out myself every well, I could go every evening if I wanted to, except Sunday and Wednesday. But my truck comes at 7:24, yeah, in the evening. And it's cool. I mean, they sing. So our garbage truck sings, so you know when they're coming. And they have another truck that comes with them for recyclables. So like your glass, your plastic, anything like that. But otherwise, you carry out your bag, you throw it on the truck, that kind of thing. Food waste also. This is picture of one of the MRTs. The brown line actually is it's automatic. All of the other ones have a driver, but the brown line doesn't. But this is what your MRT would look like. So if you were to come here, to the thing, you'll know what car it is. So there's normally 6 cars. Brown line has 4, but normally there's 6. And then this tells you which direction you go. So this is kind of faded, and that means that it's not going that direction. So then this is the way that it's going. Yeah. This is the inside of a train. So the dark blue seats are priority seats for those that might need a seat. Elderly, disabled, pregnant, those kind of things. And people respect it, honestly. The whole train could be packed full and those seats will be empty. Yeah, but this is just this is the yellow line. And then this is the yellow line. It's also above ground. Most of the major ones in the city are below ground, though. Underground. This is a map of the MRT system, and I have a paper map if you wanted to look at it. But metros, if you've ever been anywhere, metros are just the way to go, especially overseas. Maybe not New York, but I've never been on a New York subway. But ours are super clean. They don't smell. Yeah, definitely the way to go. I went to Central Taiwan to our Adventist University. Yeah, and that was just a picture of, I think, on a scooter. But yeah, this is just a scooter. This is a high-speed rail. So this is our train. I think it gets up to about 300 kilometers an hour. And so I've ridden this a couple times, going various places. Yeah. And then fire truck here. That's a video. This is a bus inside of a bus. So buses, so I have a coworker who prefers the bus over the train. I prefer the train over the bus, but buses, you really have to know where you're going in order to not get on the wrong one and then end up the wrong direction. This is just a bus that would take you like from city to city, not necessarily within the city. And then you can rent bicycles, so they call them U-bikes, and you can rent them with your Easy card that would get you on any kind of public transportation. You just rent the bicycle and you can go. So Zebedee and I did that a couple times. I laughed at him because both times he always managed to knock his bike over, and I was like, Zebedee, you ride your bike more than I do. And I looked back and his bike's on the ground. I was like, what happened? Well, I went to balance it between my legs, and I'm used to mine. I have the bar and it doesn't, and down it would go. I'm like, what are you doing? UPS truck. This is the airport, Taoyuan Airport. The airport's pretty cool. Each gate is decorated in a different thing that represents Taiwan. So like this is like the indigenous Aboriginal area and stuff like that. I have ridden a scooter, but just on the college campus. Safer that way. But my friends are still trying to encourage me to get my scooter license so that we can go places. And I'm like, well, I can just ride behind you. It's not comfortable though. But this is around, so this is outside. So this is central Taiwan. This is a temple that we went to and looked at, and very intricately carved, decorated. If you see, it's just, yeah, it's all carved into there and very, very well matchmaking. Anyway, yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful temple. And then we went to a Buddhist temple. So this is one on the other side of the lake. This is Buddhist, very different environment. They have the meditative music that plays. You have to take your shoes off to go inside that temple area where you would, bow before and worship and stuff like that. Taoist, yeah. And sometimes they're combined, and sometimes you don't know which one. I get confused. I don't know what they always are, but yeah. So you can see it's just a different environment, really. Just some construction. I thought it was funny that they had like fake people. This is the coast. This is the southern coast now. I went over Thanksgiving to the south, to the beach. We went to the ocean in the south. It was pretty cool. Yeah, so just the ocean, and I think oh no. Just the sunset there. This is another beach. There's a lighthouse. And then this is a tree that's kind of just growing sideways, which is kind of fascinating. Yeah, it's just kind of cool. But this is the southernmost point of Taiwan. So we were able to go to the southernmost. So I've been to the center of Taiwan, and I've been to the south of Taiwan. Not quite to the northernmost point, but I've been close. But yeah. This was a race beginning of December. I had signed up when I got to Taiwan. I had no idea where it was. I thought it was in Taipei, and then I found out where it was. And I said, well, how am I going to get there? I'm going to go by myself. I've never been there. So I did. I booked myself a hotel room, and I got the train, and I got on the high-speed rail, and I headed down, and you just figure it out, And then they didn't speak any English. Like the guy at the train center wrote my hotel address out in Chinese. He said, just hand it to the taxi driver. I said, okay. So I did. I got to the hotel. They didn't speak any English. And so we used Google Translate, and I told them, I was like, I have a race in the morning. I need a taxi at 5 or whatever. And she's like, okay. And so, yeah, sure enough, they called me in the morning and got me to my race. But this was my 6K. First one I did in Taiwan. And yeah, I ran by and I was like, oh, it's a dog. They went for a race too. In the stroller though. Yeah. So this is kind of like just a roundabout, but I did go here with Zebedee Tong, and basically it's the cat village, and I had been wanting to go to this place since I got there, and that's what it is. It's a cat village in a sense. People live there and work there, but there's cats, and they're just everywhere. There were 68 cats I counted when we were there. It's amazing, and they're so tame. Like you can go and buy food, and you can feed them and give them treats, and you can pet them, and it was just a wonderful day. Made me happy. Anyway, but this is in one of the ladies' shops. So she has 3 cats. And so they each tell, like, I'm so-and-so, and these are my birthdays and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. And then from there, we rode the train to Chifin. And this is a waterfall. They call it like a mini Niagara or whatever. But it was pretty cool. But also in their village, you can decorate a lantern. And then they will light the lantern, and then you can let it float up into the air. So that's pretty cool. It was a fun experience. So then I took my nephew also. Like we went every day somewhere. I had to make sure he saw as much as he could see in the short amount of time that he was there. So this is the centermost point of Taiwan. I took him there. And then just, yeah, this is a golden Buddha, also in center of Taiwan. And you can just see how large it is and whatever. But Yeah, just kind of off on a hill somewhere. Then this is also not a very like well-known spot, but our friends were kind of taking us places. But this is a female version of a Buddha, but these are all of the other ones, and they're just kind of all around, and they're all very different. Yeah, this is a pagoda, and we were able to climb up and see the view. So this is a view overlooking Sun Moon Lake, and yeah, it's just a very beautiful place. So when I go back, I've signed up for a half marathon around Sun Moon Lake. Crazy. Yeah, but this is also another city outside of Taipei, but it's this is a waterfall. It's known as like a golden waterfall, and when the sun hits it, we went at the wrong time. The sun had already gone on, but when the sun hits it, it's supposed to sparkle like gold. Like it used to be like a gold city or something. I don't know, but there's like an old street, and there's shops, and you can buy like souvenirs and things like that. So that was pretty cool. And then we went to Pingxi, if it will come back, and it was also part of like a lantern festival, but every year they release all of these lanterns into the sky, and it was a cool experience. We were definitely there with thousands of other people, but every time they released, I think 3 groups of them, so every set we moved a little bit closer so we could see better, but it was a pretty cool thing to just like watch them all like float up into the sky. This is Taroko Gorge in Hualien, which is the east coast of Taiwan. Very beautiful. We went on a hike, and the water is just like that color, and it's just amazing. But yeah, so we just went walking and stuff, and it was kind of cool. Hualien is known though for earthquakes. Like if we get a bad earthquake in Taiwan, it normally hits the east coast because they're normally coming from like maybe the Philippines headed to Japan, and that's just what they hit. Yeah. So this is just pictures of the gorge. There's a big suspension bridge over the gorge, and so you can walk across that. This is pretty cool. This is another library. And then we went to Inga, which is a ceramic village. So there's a ceramic museum we went into, but then you can also go and do like pottery classes or whatever. And so this is the plate that I made. It should, hopefully, I'm hoping it's waiting for me when I get back. I had it sent to another friend. And so it should be pink. I think I had it pink. But yeah, I made this little cat, and it's hanging on the side of the bowl. But yeah, this is like out behind the ceramic museum. This is like sinks and like a totem pole of hamburgers and cats. I don't know. You never know what you might see. Then also on spring break, I went to Elon, I think, and they have black sand beaches. And so I just picked one beach, and I said, that's where I'm going. So I got on the train, and I went. I had no ticket back, and I didn't even think that it was the end of our holiday, and everyone was headed back to the city. So going was no problem. And then coming back, I was like, can I get to, they were like, yeah, you just have to transfer here. I was like, okay, as long as I make it back. But it was pretty cool to go and see the beach. And then I kind of walked along the city and saw a temple and whatever. This I went with another friend with my friends to another waterfall area. And it's kind of like a deserted, what used to be maybe like an amusement park at one time. And then an earthquake went through the amusement park. And so they're kind of building it back up, but you can only get there by like a gondola. So you have to ride there. And so it's like a resort hotel, but almost abandoned. It gives you that abandoned feel, but beautiful area. So they have a lot of like Aboriginal people there, and they have a store, and they do a lot of weaving and stuff like that. A lot of flowers. I think that's one thing that I appreciate about Taipei especially, is just there's a lot of grass and trees and flowers and plants and stuff. So nearby, Chiang Kai-shek residence is nearby. A lot of gardens, and so they had 20 years for Chrysanthemum Festival, and so these are all mums. And yeah, so this one is pretty cool because it's one stem, and they have somehow grafted all of these flowers to grow out of one stem, and they have like tons of them, and they show you the process on how they can do all of that. So it was pretty cool to see, and then they all bloom like pretty much at the same time, and you're like, how is that just one stem? But yeah, the piano is a permanent fixture. They just switch out flowers around. This is the shape of Taiwan, but in flowers. Yeah. And then also at the same place later on, they had a tulip festival there. And so the interesting thing about these things is they're not really growing out of the ground. They dig up the area and they put them all in there in pots, right? And so like once then the flowers die in the pot, they just either replace them if the festival's not over, or they just get rid of them. So same thing, they just moved all of the tulips in. These were really cool. You can't really see it, but sort of. They're like fuzzy on top. Never seen a type of tulip like that before, but it was pretty cool. So yeah, this was a different park, but these sheep were kind of cute. And then this is up the mountain as well. You can go up the mountain where I was, Yamingshan, and they have a lot of flower shops. You can buy flowers fairly cheap there, and little like cactus and other things. And also up there they have they grow calla lilies. My picture will go. So they grow calla lilies, and there's just like farms and farms of them, and you can pay to go in, or you can just like look on the side of these calla lilies, and you can pay, I think, to go and pick some too. Otherwise you just buy. I did buy one. I hope it's still alive. If it's not, it's okay. And then on the other side of the road, basically, they have hydrangeas. And so like the calla lilies bloom, and then like 2 months later, the hydrangeas. So then you just go back up, and yeah. And then you can walk through the garden of hydrangeas. And that's all it is. And take photos, like lots of photo like opportunities and stuff. So it's pretty cool. These are just some of the people that I've met while I'm there. These are two of my fellow teachers. Sharon, like I explained earlier, and then this is Stacy. She is from South Africa. She's been there about 3 years. Sharon's been there, I think, going on 4 now. So they teach there. And then this couple here, these are the Tulis. They work. He works at TAC, which is our Adventist college in central Taiwan. And so they're friends with my friends. This is Debbie and Leroy. And so I worked with them in Kenya, and then they've been in there. But he's currently fighting lymphoma, and so he's waiting for a bone marrow transplant. So I think if all goes well, their transplant should start taking place in July. But we've been praying for him. But he's the pastor of the church that I go to as well. And then these are just some other people. Him and her, they're a couple. They're from India. They've been in Taiwan for, I don't know, at least over 10 years. At least they teach at another academy, but they go to our church. And then that's Sharon. And then this is Jean Ramon. He's from Haiti, and he works for a university in Taiwan, but he actually teaches in Paraguay. So, and then this is Rish. He's also Indian, but grew up in Taiwan, and he just works there, but he also goes to our church. Yeah, so, so this is a Songsan church. It's right next to our Adventist hospital. We have an Adventist hospital there in Taipei. So this is a very nice church. I've been there once to sing with a group. And then this is Schilling Adventist Church. It's just down the road from me. I've only been there once when somebody who was speaking in English was speaking. But they have it's just a little room, but it's all they need. It's just this very small group that meets there. This is Mimi, a cat, but she lives up on top. So as I was saying with like the river, right, you can go up and then there's like an upper walkway. So she kind of lives underneath a stairway up there. And one day I was walking back home and I saw the cat and I said, "Oh, it's a cat." Anyway, and then the lady that was taking care of her was there too, and she speaks some English. And so we've been able to form some kind of a friendship just based on this cat. And so it's been nice. But this is her. Her name is Monica. Her English name is Monica. And so we do the best we can talking in English. And we've gone out a couple times to eat together. And so I went and, the Sunday before I left, we went and had dinner together again. And so, yeah, but it's been nice to just be able to go and have a friend. And I don't know, where it will go or what influence I might have, but anything is good. This is a group from Taipei Adventist Church, and they were going to the park just to sing and to do like children's songs and stuff. So they asked me to come along because they were doing them in English. And so I said, sure, I would go and help them. But it's fun. This is the pastor's wife, and they have a little baby. She's so cute. But yeah, so this is the whole group that went and to the park, just as like a ministry once a month to try to go and so they were singing a couple hymns in Chinese. And then this group, him and his wife, they open their house on Friday evenings for like a care group, and so young adult group Bible study. We go, we eat together, sing songs, and then have a Bible study. So I go there every Friday night, and then this is Jeff Parks. I met him here actually in Arkansas. He was one of the assistant camp directors when I went and worked at CYB one summer. And then I found out he was in Taiwan. He's been there for, I think, 11 years now. And he was working at the school I'm at, and then now he's doing his own thing. But yeah, he'll come as well. And so it's just been nice to, know somebody and been fun to work together. Then this is Tina. She works in Loma Linda area. She's an occupational therapist, but she's from Taiwan. She came to visit her family for a couple months. And so we went to the same group and church and stuff. And so we were able to get together, know each other. And then this is Brenda. She's Italian, but she was there studying Chinese for a few months. So just some of the people that I've been able to meet. This is our care group. We always take a picture every Friday evening. So yeah. And then this is the last one that I was at before I left. So yeah, but it's a fun thing. At the end of the week, you go, and I'm always tired, and I have to take the train, and I just don't want to go some nights. And I'm like, no, I should go. And then by the time, I'm headed home, I'm re-energized, and you've been able to fellowship with others and have fun and talk about other things and sing songs together and stuff. So yeah, it's been good. And really, I've been able to invite one of my coworkers, and so he's going now. And so this has been a huge, I said, maybe if that's the reason I'm there, to be a witness or something, then so be it. And then just quickly, I think this is my last thing. Food. This this is shaved ice, so it's pretty popular. The mango for sure. This was with Zebedee, so it was off season, so it's like frozen. But yeah. And then this is like a mushroom burger, and instead of like a bun, you can get like, they have like a rice burger, something. And the what? Can I make it? No, I don't know how to make it. If you get sticky, like, it'd have to be sticky rice. Ask Lee, maybe we can make it. Yeah, then just some noodles and veggies. And then this is, I don't know, there's some name for it. I don't know. But anyway, it's like bean curd. So it's tofu. The back screen, you can see it better. But anyway, it's tofu. And then like the pink, and there's white balls, and it's like glutinous rice balls. And Zebedee was like, we should try it. I'm like, Zebedee, I don't know what it is. He's like, but it's bean curd, so we should be okay. I'm like, okay. It was actually pretty good, but I'm just not adventurous when it comes to a lot of food. This is a Vietnamese restaurant, though, that is vegetarian, so we have gone there a couple times. It's pretty good. I normally get what he gets now, and they have like seaweed, like patty things, and like noodles. It's like pho, and yeah, so it's pretty tasty. Then the big thing in Taiwan is hot pot, and so this is a hot pot. And basically, you can go, the one that I like to, you can go and collect all of your own vegetables, and then you just come back and you cook your own soup, basically. But I don't know, it's enjoyable, and a lot of it is you go because of the fellowship, right? So they give you, I think, 90 minutes, so you have like an hour and a half, and so you can cook your food, and you can sit around and talk and stuff, and yeah, it's fun. So this one is like a split soup, and so this is like a seaweed base, and this one's like Chinese medicine. But anyway, those are the only two vegetarian options they have. But this is like a mushroom or something. Anyway, I always pick it out, and they have some berries and stuff. I'm like, I don't want that in my soup. But yeah, it's pretty fun. This is just a noodle place that I took Zebedee to. The guy speaks English. He actually studied here in the States and went back and started his place. The dumplings here on the side that sometimes they'll get for church potluck. It's really the only time I'll eat them, but they're not bad. It's just a texture thing, I think, for me. But then this here is, I don't know how to describe it. I also don't know how to say it. We talked about it care group, and I was like, no, that's what it is. Anyway, it's like breading, right? So like those are like pieces of bread or something in there, and it's like hot. It's like super hot, kind of oily, but it's also kind of like a tofu type thing. And it's, as it cooled off, it was okay. I could eat it, but I haven't gone back to eat it. Yeah. But I don't know how to order it either, because I don't know what it, I can't even say what it is. Anyway, then this is just like a potluck. Sometimes they'll get like these lunch boxes. And then this is a coworker. He had a new baby, and so in celebration, I guess you buy things for people. And so he bought us all like a lunch box. And, okay, so it kind of looks gross, but it's rice. So there's rice in there, and then there's mushrooms, and then these are like fake like meat type things. And yeah, it was okay. Yeah. Then this is just like a waffle type thing. You can get them filled with some things and like a tea. And then this is mochi, and it's really good. Most people will buy it. You can get it fresh from Hualien. And my favorite is the yellow packages, as you can see, and it's the peanut one, but they're pretty good. And then this is just like a burger, and this is another type of burger, but from like a food truck. It was all vegan as well. So there are lots of vegan, vegetarian options. These you can find most places if they ever have some kind of a festival or something. It's just basically batter like a waffle, and they're all in different shapes. And then this is another type of burger, but it's like a tofu something, and this is like a tofu like patty type. It was interesting, not bad, interesting. And then just a salad, and then these are more of like those waffle type things. So they really like them, very popular, but they're quite tasty. And then this was actually at Songshan Church potluck, and so it's just a big pot of like vegetables with like tofu, bean curd, like tofu skin is a big thing there. And then just like some bread rolls and stuff like that. So the big thing also in Taiwan is stinky tofu. No joke, that's what it's called. Stinky tofu, and it is stinky. It's the worst smelling thing I've ever smelled, I think. I don't know. It's a cross between like BO and stinky socks and I don't know what else. And I said, no way will I eat that. And people kept asking, and they're like, have you tried it yet? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to try it. I'm going to be one of these that come to Taiwan and I leave without having tried it. Well, I went to a potluck and somebody made it in this pot, and I said, well, it's not in the market, so at least I know like somebody made this, right? So it's not whatever they put it in the market. And I said, fine, I'll try it. So in this cup, you can't really see it, but there's a tiny piece here, and I tried it. Let me tell you, it tastes just like it smells. It was awful, and it was doable. Like I ate that, right? And I ate it in tiny pieces, and I said, well, that's not so bad. And then I had like a decent sized piece left, and I said, well, I'll just eat the rest of it. And then that was when it like hit me, and I was like, oh. But nobody really asks now, and they're like, it's just a thing. Like they're like, they don't even have to know if you've eaten it, but once you've eaten it, nobody asks you again. I'm like, that's so weird. But then everybody was like, well, it was because it was the boiled one. The fried one is better. And I was like, I'm not trying the fried one. I said, I tried the boiled. I'm good. But yeah, stinky tofu is a big thing. My coworker once ate it for lunch, and he'll normally eat in the office. We share an office, and he got it once for lunch, and I walked in and I said, oh no. And so like he went to class, and I was there, and I was like, open the windows, turn the AC on, like we gotta air this place out. But yeah, it's pretty bad. And then these are like the only pictures I have of the marketplace where I go and buy my produce, but these are lychee. And these are like plums, but normally they have like a sign, and it's written whatever it is and how much it is, either per piece or per pound. But I normally just go relying on like what I can see what it is, because I can't read the sign, of course. And then I just make sure I have enough money that I can cover whatever I've bought. But I think the lady knows me now, and so she'll point like to weigh the vegetables and stuff. She types in the number, and then you can see how much you owe. And so yeah. But that's it. So that's the end of my program. This was leaving, and yeah. So thank you for coming to my program and listening. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything that you might have as questions. I did bring. I have my money with me. If you wanted to see my money, I have my Easy card with me. If you wanted to see what that looked like, my Metro map, and then my book. I have a book. They do. Kind of cool. They have a lot of like rubber stamps in various places. And so it's kind of like a souvenir type thing. So any place I go, I look for the stamp and I just stamp it. Every MRT station has a stamp at that station. So it's just kind of like my souvenir, like where I've been and stuff. So it's a cheap option, not having to buy stuff. But yeah, so that's it. But yeah, that's it. So thank you all for coming, and yeah, I'm headed back in August, so for another year, and looking forward to more adventures and experiences. So thank you all, and